What's up, everybody? Brian Engelman here. We are live. This is the Unhappy Hour show. If you are watching this camera, you're on Facebook Live. It's a private group. Do a search for The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Join the group. Invite all your Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeye fans as well. We're going to be covering the Browns game in just a moment. I want to tell you about the channel that we have, vid.me/TheNewAmericanMedia. That's where we're putting all of these videos after the fact, which is good because we can monetize it over there, since youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia has been demonetizing us and censoring us and shadow banning us and ghosting our channels and our videos and flagging content when I talk about the Indians. Oh, it's not suitable for advertisers. Cavs, not suitable for advertisers. Browns, not suitable for advertisers. Buckeyes, not suitable for advertisers. YouTube is engaging in quite a weird battle over people who cover current events and politics the way that I do. So I've kind of been forced into making nothing but sports videos, which is fine because this is one of the two things I do, but I'm not going to be silenced. We're on a whole bunch of different platforms. Check it out. Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, and the sports one is Instagram.com/TheUnhappyHour. So Myles Garrett looked awesome at the beginning. He had a hell of a move when he was playing, I guess, at a tackle position. He kind of did a curl around and then sacked Josh McCown early. He looked great. Browns went for it on fourth down to continue the midfield drive. There was a second effort by Duke Johnson, once again reminding us that Duke Johnson is somebody who needs to get more touches. A normal running back would have been stuffed right there. Kizer, he had a good run to get us near the end zone. He was doing pretty good to get us down there. And if those receivers just knew how to block, that would have been a touchdown. You know, the difference between seeing Deshaun Watson and Kizer, sometimes you think about the surrounding players and the lack of experience on the Browns wide receiver core. It's obvious. It's glaring. It is really time that we get Josh Gordon back already. I guess I'll probably have to call the commissioner's office yet again to get an answer to that. Let's see. Kizer then fumbling on an option pitch to Crowell at the 3-yard line. I mean, who runs the option in the NFL? I guess if you have Deshaun Kizer, it makes sense because it can be a quarterback keeper, or you can pitch it to your bruising running back who has a head of steam to just kind of put his head down and charge forward for 3 yards for the touchdown. I get the concept, but the execution was poor. I know that's a rookie quarterback, but come on, how do you miss that play? By the way, if you're watching after the fact, I can't take your comments, but if you're on this camera, yes, you type your comments. I'll try to interact with you as we go. Aaron Lynn is saying, I feel like Crowell got way more chances than Duke. Yeah, I would like to see them involve Duke Johnson in the running game a little bit more. I don't know. At this point, would you be surprised if the Browns drafted first-round pick quarterback and then a wide receiver, or wide receiver and then a quarterback and then a running back and then another wide receiver? With all the first-round and second-round picks next year, would you be surprised to see 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a quarterback? I mean, are any of these guys good enough to win games for us? I don't know. Is that offensive line gelling? I don't know. If you're Sean Coleman, how many holding penalties do you have today? I mean, you got to think about addressing that position. What's up to Greg? What's up, man? Thanks for watching. But anyway, yeah, so Kizer fumbles on the option pitch within the 5-yard line. That's ridiculous. I mean, you could hardly script that if you were trying to lose the game. Sorry, I got something playing in the background here. I'll just mute it. I don't know what's going on. Got screens and videos everywhere. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. And then missing the 52-yard field goal by Zane Gonzalez in the second quarter. I mean, come on, man. You got one job. Kick it. His kicks, did those look even remotely good? This is who we decided on after our long, extensive process. Those kicks didn't even look good. You know a good kick. It takes an aim and it stays there and it goes. These kickers that don't know what they're doing, man, especially in these games that are 17-14 and it all comes down to, you know, 1 possession, 2 possession, 1 play, 2 plays, 1 catch, something in or out of bounds, a field goal that misses. Let's see, Greg is saying they need to hire an offensive coordinator. Hughes' play calling is suspect, almost too creative. Yeah, like I said, who runs the option in the NFL? Why is this the play that your rookie running back is running at the 2-yard line? little too creative? I don't know. If it works, it works. But it didn't. So, well, they say if my aunt had testicles, she'd be my uncle. Something like that. It's like, well, fine. If it would have done this, it would have done that. Yeah, but it didn't. And that's the point. So it's a 0-0 game. McCourty with a good interception off of McCown. For a while there, you got the feeling that the Browns' defense was holding their own. They were kind of keeping us in this game, and that's true. Bernie Kosar never ran the option. Agreed, Gregory. You can't do both. All right, good. So we got the conversation in over here on Facebook Live. Join us. By the way, anyone in Facebook Live, can you go through your friends list when we're done with this at some point? Go to the Unhappy Hour and add any of your Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeye fans, because I want us to be chit-chatting about this while we go. Bernie Kosar never ran the option. True. Yet. There's still a chance. Anyway, I like seeing the interception by McCourty. Jabril Peppers on roughing the passer. Are you kidding? That was throw hit. That was fine. That's not targeting. That's not a penalty. That was a clean hit. That was a good hit by Peppers. I don't like what the referees did there to change the momentum of that game. Not a fan of that at all. Oh, by the way, here's a good time to wonder and ponder and think about, how about that Carson Wentz feller? That fellow that we passed on. Not to mention Deshaun Watson. But, it's at some point you got to look at these draft picks that the Cleveland Browns are amassing and the roster that they're building. And you got to say, well, yeah, we could have just kept that pick, though, and had that guy. That guy looks like he's got it under control. Carson Wentz is looking pretty decent for the Eagles right now. Would we like him instead? We benched DeShone Kizer. Are we committed to grooming DeShone Kizer, to getting better? Is it pointless? I mean, I guess we got to play him to know what kind of quarterback he is. I know that he's the type of guy that can sling the ball and make any type of throw, theoretically, but his decision-making on the interceptions and the bad toss on the option. Bad toss on the option, I'll give him a little bit of leeway on that one. But the interception in the end zone coming up later, well, it didn't hit my notes yet, but I'm just kind of jumping around. Yes, and Derek Carr. The all-pro teams that we could build out of Cleveland Browns draft selections that we passed on would be brutal. But anyway, back to the game. Yeah, Kizer with an interception in the end zone, red zone. Pretty pathetic, pretty weak. I don't know what he thought he was seeing. You got to throw that one away into the stands or into the dirt. That's not NFL caliber quarterbacking. And maybe that's what Hugh saw and said, all right, enough. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to him and said, look, Kizer didn't have it, just like Corey Kluber. You pulled him after 2 1/3 innings. Halfway through the game, you pull him. Doesn't mean we're not going to go back to him next time he's up in the rotation, but it means he wasn't getting the job done and we needed to switch out. Greg is saying Kizer's always 2 seconds behind. He waits for the receivers to be open instead of leading them. Well, yeah, and part of that's going to come with how NFL ready of a quarterback are you? Are you ready, or is it going to take a little bit of time to deliver the ball? Is it going to take a little bit of time to learn the offense, the nuances, and how to anticipate that someone's going to... But here's the other thing about anticipation with wide receivers. Your wide receivers have to be good. They have to be talented enough. We go get Kenny Britt. We had Josh Gordon sitting on the couch watching reruns of MASH. Laverne and Shirley, probably. I can see the meme now. All right, someone make me a meme of Josh Gordon watching Laverne and Shirley from the couch, eating potato chips or popcorn, please. But I mean, if we're going to hold our quarterback to a high standard, what standard are we holding our line to, our offensive line? And to what standard are we holding our wide receivers to? Are the wide receivers going exactly where they're supposed to be? Are they getting open? Are they creating space? So maybe he has no time. You're right, Aaron. That is possible. But maybe there's just not enough talent on that ball club yet. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Douglas Huff saying all I got to say is the Browns is go Tribe. All right, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Look, I'm conflicted. Not really. We got one top-notch quality team, and we got the Browns. So anyway, some other thoughts on the game. When Hogan takes over for the benched Kizer, that was an interesting move. And look, Hogan led him to a couple scoring drives. Kizer left at least 14, maybe 17 points on the field. You can't blame him for the missed field goal with Zane Gonzalez. You can't blame him for the missed field goal necessarily, but those 2 turnovers from Kizer inside the 5-yard line, when you have that 3 times and you screw it up all 3 times, you're leaving points on the field. And Kevin Hogan came in and he got those points. He made sure that he got 14 points. 2 touchdowns. I'll get to it in a second, but anyway. Good effort from Crowell converting that ISO in the 3rd quarter. Kind of went out to him, and it was him on one other guy just to get past and get that first down. That was good effort. That was a good run there. Crow had a few really nice moments as well. A couple of good runs to start the second half. And it looked like for a while that Hogan was anticipating his routes well. I did like seeing that. It seemed like the rhythm was definitely different with him in the game, as opposed to Kizer being in the game. The rhythm was different. So it's something worth thinking about, looking at, and I think maybe both of those quarterbacks can learn something from the other quarterback and from the situations in general. Kason Williams, I don't know, is he the quarterback the wide receiver that the quarterbacks can count on? Kenny Britt signing has been a total bust, and Josh Gordon is sitting on the couch watching Laverne and Shirley reruns, eating bonbons, eating a Ben & Jerry's. Ooh, he'll be eating Ben & Jerry's, let's say, like brownie bits. Like Cleveland Browns brownie, anyway. Yeah, so as Greg was saying, that Njoku looked talented. Yes, he did. The young tight end out of Miami, the first-round draft pick that we got in the draft last year. One-handed catch. Just wrapped it up, came in, did a little bit of a wacky end zone dance, whatever, more power to you. That was a heck of a catch from David Njoku. I like seeing him. He's a playmaker that needs more touches as well. He does. Duke Johnson does. Maybe Kason Williams. I don't know. Greg Moore says he's watching Perfect Strangers reruns. Okay, kudos. What's up, Brian? Thanks for saying hello. Douglas saying, I can't say who's better, Kizer or Hogan, but they both score points. But they score points with Hogan. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You can say what you want, but the Browns did score points with Hogan in there. Welcome to the group, Matt. Matt, you're saying Hogan must be the new starter? Well, this guy, because I screwed up and forgot that that Jameis Winston was playing on Thursday, and because Derek Carr is injured, I had to start DeShone Kizer in my fantasy league. So I got a personal problem with what's going on now. I picked him in my dynasty league to be good in a couple years, whatever. That was a mistake. Anyhow, I don't know. Josh Gordon watches Perfect Strangers. I don't know. Well, okay, so here's the question of the day. What TV show could you envision Josh Gordon sitting on the couch watching at his home? In between selling cars for like Gillingham Ford or something. If Hogan started, we win. Maybe. If our field goal kicker could kick, we could have won. If we didn't give up a 45-yard pass on 3rd and long when we had the Jets pinned. Well, actually, I'll get to that in a second. Let me go through the rest of my notes, and then I'll take your questions. Any comments you want me to get to, type them in below. I'll get to it in a second. So the Browns pass from Hogan to Njoku was good. It was promising. I want to see a lot more of that. They need to find more creative ways to get him the ball. I saw he had a run. I don't know if that's the creative way that I'm thinking. We should get him the ball, but whatever. You give the ball to playmakers. Yeah, so the Browns stuffed by the Jets inside the 5-yard line again. That was another brutal one. I can understand why you would take the chance to go for the touchdown instead of the 3 points. I get it. I'm not even going to blast Hugh Jackson for that, because up until that point, your defense was playing pretty good, pretty well. Your defense was doing okay. Myles Garrett was worked into the rotation. He didn't play a lot of snaps, but the defense was a little better. And I can understand pinning him back there at the 5-yard line and at least get another shot at it. But that's not what happened. We got stuffed. Yeah, Hugh was trusting the defense, and that 45-yard completion to midfield from the Jets, just a backbreaker. Motivationally, the morale of the team absolutely had to be crushed by that. That's what I did. I played defense. I played defensive end, and when you had a team on the ropes like that, you gotta lift up the offense sometimes. We didn't have a super high octane offense when I played. But our defense was lights out. Absolutely lights out. We would demoralize the other team's offense, and it allowed us enough room for some of our playmakers to get enough points on the board to win. And I can't fault Hugh Jackson for trusting his defense right there inside the 5-yard line by going for it again. But of course, getting stuffed, that was huge. Then I saw a couple plays later after that. Myles Garrett, our number 1 draft pick out of Texas A&M. Like I said, he's back, but he's still kind of ginger on his foot, on his ankle, on his leg. Because like I was saying, I played defensive end. I had one job. My one job was nothing gets between me and the sideline. How do I do this? Yep. Nothing gets between me and the sideline. Sideline, I have everything out here. The rest of my team has the other side, if you get what I'm saying. So I saw Myles Garrett get beat on an end around. Pitch it to the running back, went over, tossed it to a wide receiver that was circling all the way back. And so Myles Garrett was there. He has one job. Nothing gets outside of him, and that got outside of him. As a defensive end, you're told, as deep as the deepest back. You go as deep as the deepest back. If it's the quarterback, if it's a running back, if it's a wide receiver, you only go as deep as the deepest back. You never get yourself so flailing out of position that you become a liability. Myles Garrett, he read it right, but he couldn't react enough, and he didn't take the right angle to keep that player between him and the sideline. His job is to force it back toward all the linebackers and everyone else pursuing. Myles Garrett got beat on that, and that's a big hell no. That was a big moment where I realized that we don't have the full, and I know that we don't have the full Myles Garrett, but if he is who we think he is, that's a play he's never going to screw up like that again. You just don't miss that play. When you're a defensive end, that's the one thing you know to not let happen, and he let it happen. But that was kind of emblematic of this whole game. It was us getting close and having the right idea and almost doing stuff, and in typical Browns fashion. Yeah, and then Curse carving up the Browns secondary, giving the Jets a 17-7 win. I mean, maybe Joe Hayden makes a difference if he's playing on that. Maybe we got to draft a little better. But these 45-yard passing plays, these 20-something-yard touchdowns, for a defense that was playing okay up until that moment, it sure wasn't looking okay. Maybe it was just them having too many snaps on the field. They started getting worn out. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But it wasn't a good look. Yeah, and then at one point when I thought that Hogan was starting to do well, I was starting to get impressed by what Hogan was doing. He was anticipating. I saw several plays where he was just closing his eyes and chucking it downfield. That's not going to win you a lot of football games. And maybe that's because the line wasn't giving him enough time, but there were a few plays where he was just closing his eyes and launching it, hoping something was going to happen. That's not going to get you far. Anyway, Coleman with a ton of holding calls, and Duke Johnson is a playmaker that needs more touches. Anyway, just a few notes that I took on the game today. I'll go through your comments and we'll wrap this up because the Indians are playing tonight. Remember, guys, we can get excited for that, at least. All right, we got a week to think about how lousy the winless Browns are again, or how awesome the undefeated Tribe is doing in the postseason. So, here we go. Hello to Tom. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Matt says, you go for 3. We're the Browns. Oh, not the Patriots. Yeah, if you kick, hindsight is 20/20. If you kick the 3 there, then it's a tie game, and maybe it changes things. Maybe it does. Feed Duke and Njoku more, please. Yes, Hugh should not be calling plays, in my opinion. Yes, Brian, you're right. You're matching kind of what Greg is saying, that he's being a little too aggressive. I'm sorry, too creative, rather. So, you only have a few playmakers on the team. You got to find a way to get them involved. And you got to keep taking shots deep to stretch that defense. You have to. And they burned a timeout for nothing. Well, I mean, is that anything new in Cleveland Brownstown? Burning a timeout over nothing. I think the running back should be DDs, Duke and Days. Duke for days. Maybe. I mean, Crow ripped off a few nice 10-plus runs today. Not much in between it, but he had a few of those. Doug is saying, so let's recap. Did the Jets beat the Browns, or did the Browns beat themselves? Douglas, what is the difference at this point? But I totally get your point. I'm not downplaying it. I guess it's like the Joe Girardi question with the Indians and the Yankees. Did Joe Girardi pulling CC Sabathia too soon and not challenging the Lonnie Chisenhall hit by pitch? Did Joe Girardi cost the Yankees that game in the postseason, or did the Indians win it? I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I can only fault so much for what happens with the players. Let me rephrase this. I would say that the players are primarily the ones that should get the credit and get the blame. The coaches, they put you in a decent position. Man, got an itch. Coaches are the ones that put you into a position to win, and I guess it's them to determine the rosters and whatnot. So in a way, the coaches and the plays that they pick play a role. But at the end of the day, you're going up against the same number of people on the other side. You need to execute at a high level. If you execute at a high level, you're going to win. It doesn't matter. So that's why when we start talking about college football playoffs with the Buckeyes, can they get back in with one loss? And you see Michigan lose, and see a few other things happen, including Oklahoma losing, which actually hurts the Buckeyes. You get into a lot of this matchups. Well, if Alabama, here's the thing about Clemson. Well, don't look now, but if Kentucky does this, if the Buckeyes do that, there's something that you can say for like the Cleveland Indians. Going on a tear in the second half of the season, getting the number 1 seed. Because what that means is then you get to play a team coming right off of a wild card win who has now maybe used their best pitcher and gone into their bullpen, which makes them a little weaker. So yes, in a way it's easier to go up against someone that's a little weaker than you are. I can get that. I can understand that. But to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And part of me says that particular year, it better not matter who you're playing. Because if you're going to be the champ, you got to beat anybody they line up against you. The first couple rounds of the playoffs, doesn't matter. You got to smash them. You have one job, whether it's the Yankees or the Twins or the Astros or the Red Sox, you got to get out of the American League first. Whether it's the Diamondbacks or the Cubs or the Dodgers or the Nationals, you got to beat whoever gets lined up against you. Because if they're so darn good, they'll probably play you the second round. And if not, you'll be playing the toughest team in the World Series. So, who do you blame for yet another ridiculous loss by the Cleveland Browns? I'm going to blame it on a young team led by DeShone Kizer, who, due to maybe some questionable play calling, didn't put himself, he was not maybe, let me say this, perhaps young quarterback DeShone Kizer was not put into the best situation by the coaching staff to succeed on an option play from inside the 5-yard line. I'll also say that his interception from within the 5-yard line was completely incomprehensible. Totally on Kizer. The missed field goals, that's on the field goal kicker. Is that on the coaching staff? Going for it on 4th down? Well, you're already missing field goals badly. So nothing really went right. I can't really give anybody a free pass. So to recap, Douglas, did the Browns just beat themselves, or did the Jets beat the Browns? I'll say the Jets beat the Browns. Brian is saying nothing like losing with twice the offensive yards. Only the Browns can make that happen. Yeah, that's a stat for the ages. Yeah, I like that one. The Browns beat themselves in the first half. The Jets beat is in the second half. What are you saying, Greg? The Browns beat themselves in the first half, and the Jets beat us. Okay, and the Jets beat us in the second half. Yeah, probably. Anyway, we could get a deal on a Dawson. We could get a deal on a Dawson. Well, like we want Phil Dawson back? Or like Dawson's Creek? Because that show needs to come back. Oh, let's see. Indians post-game show. Okay, that's a definitely maybe. That is an Oasis style definitely maybe. To do an Indians post-game show. Greg, you'll be in Houston next week for the Browns. Good! Will Kizer and Hogan survive that defense? Yeah. I'm the eternal optimist. The team I played on in middle school was terrible, and we finally got our act together and started playing at a high level. Part of it was coaching, part of it was development, part of it was hunger and heart. I always believe that a team can turn it around. And I said the Browns are going to go on a winning streak when Myles Garrett comes back. So we're going to see. We'll see about that. What's up, Ted? What's up, Justin? If there's any more comments, type them below. Any questions, type them below, because I'm going to wrap this one up in just a minute. Talking about the Cleveland Browns' loss to the New York Jets today. DeShone Kizer benched, Kevin Hogan taken in. Kevin Hogan taking over, going in. I love when I combine two thoughts together. Douglas Huff, where you at? Where'd that comment go? Right now, it looks like the Browns are going to win until maybe San Diego. Oh, yeah, that San Diego game. Should I go to that? I guess it's technically Los Angeles, huh? I guess. Yeah, Chargers not looking great. What's up, Justin? Yeah, we got to talk some more Tribe, Justin. Nice, Greg. Josh Gordon watches Dawson's Creek. That was our question of the day if you're just now joining us. What television program would you envision Josh Gordon sitting on the couch watching while he eats brownie bits, Ben and Jerry's, or popcorn, or bonbons or something? All right, Justin saying go Tribe. Yes, Justin, go Tribe. Justin, you want to come in and give me a thought on the game? On the matchup tonight? I can click this little invite button if any of you guys want to jump in, too. So tell me. Keep the faith. All right. See you, Doug. Tropical jokes are the best. What, like pineapples and coconut jokes? Greg? Yeah, there's nothing more topical than a Laverne and Shirley reference. A case of Malamars. Okay. Anyway, I think we're starting to go off the rails here a little bit. But, okay, so we're wrapping up. Indians go for a series sweep in the Bronx against the Yankees tonight. Just a couple of hours away, so post your awesome stuff here in the Unhappy Hour. Go through your friends list. Invite them all to join the group if you have not already. Good things coming ahead. Hopefully this is going to turn into a special season for the Cleveland Indians. And, yes, go Tribe. I'll talk to all of you later. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Tribe. Peace.